Hey there, homeschool mama. How's your mama care? Are you making time for your rejuvenation and refreshment? I know. It seems like there isn't any time anywhere for that type of thing. In fact, sometimes self-care or mama care just feels like another to-do. It can feel like another burden or another thing to add to your never-ending list of tasks. I promise you, though, the time you spend to refresh yourself will produce huge returns. The cost will reap many benefits. Just like Jesus stepped away for quiet time, moms need moments to refuel and to recharge. In today's episode, I have some practical ideas for you. Hey, homeschool mom, I'm Erika Sagert on the Intentional Homeschooler podcast with more actionable steps and encouragement for your homeschooling journey so you can confidently and intentionally homeschool your children without sacrificing your sanity. Grab a pen and paper, your favorite cup of brew, and let's get started. I want to start today by reading something from a cute book for moms titled Humpty Dumpty Just Needed a Nap. In this book, Amy Henry shows us some things that familiar children's stories can teach us about life, love, and mothering. I will put a link to this charming book in the show notes so that you can get your hands on a copy. Here are her 10 commandments for mama care. Thou shalt take care of thy body, mind, and soul, so thou dost not snap when thy toddler tinkleth on thy new rug for the 20th time since 8 in the a.m. 2. Thou shalt not listen to the guilt-tripping of other mothers, even and especially those claiming to hold the corner on truth. 3. Thou shalt take plenty of long, luxurious baths. 4. Thou shalt exercise so thy body is strong, even if it means doing push-ups on the staircase, powerlifting the baby, and jogging in place during Veggie Tales. Thou shalt read and grow with thy mind, lest thou become a boring ignoramus. 6. Thou shalt find thy yayas and bringeth them hot soups when they are in need. In return, thou shalt receive hot soups when thou art in need, even and especially if thou pridest thyself on never needing anything from anyone ever. 7. Thou shalt trust thy gut. 8. Thou shalt not complain longer than 3 minutes. Talk fast. 9. Thou shalt not resent thy children, even when they commence to throw up the night before thou art to depart for Maui. 10. Thou shalt honor date night and keep it sacred. Remember the date night and sanctify it. Thou shalt not talk about potty training and spit up whilst on date night. Thou shalt not fuss at thy respective mate for his myriad of deficiencies on date night. On date night, thou shalt kiss him upon the lips and laugh at his jokes. So, this is all well and good, but you might still be asking yourself, how in the world can you really fit in mama care consistently? Well, it will take some planning. Today, I will give you some steps on what you can do to get this important time in. Number 1, as always, I want you to think about your why. Why is it important to take care of yourself? I'm sure you've heard the instructions when taking a flight to put your oxygen mask, if needed, on yourself before your child's. Well, it really is true. Mama care will give you that oxygen you need first before you can help your child with what they need. It's going to reduce your stress, boost your energy, and it will enhance your mood. You will notice increased patience, improved communication, and sharper focus. You will have enhanced creativity and better decision-making skills, among many other benefits that I could mention, but I will keep it to those. So how? So that's your why. So why? To take care of yourself so that you have something left to give, right? They do require a lot. from moms. Those children do. So we need to take care of ourselves so that we have something to give them. So how? So that's the why. So what about the how? So first, I want you to think spiritual growth first. So it's really important to have some quiet time with the Lord. As Christians, we are called to spend time with the Lord. If we don't spend time with Him, we're not going to have a relationship. So find that time. What for you, that might be early in the morning. Even if you just get up 15 minutes before everybody else, you'll have 15 minutes of quiet to journal and pray and read some scripture. Listen to some praise music. Whatever that is for you, take that time. So either in the morning or maybe during nap time or before bed at night. I am personally just so tired by the time I get to the end of my day. I've always been that way with or without little ones. So I always know that I need to do it in the morning. However, I know everybody's different. So some of you are more on the night owl side. But just find that time. If you're not currently doing it right now, start small. Start with even 5 minutes and then build it up. You will find that you'll want more and more time. I'm in a time in my life, my kids are all grown, so I spend almost an hour every morning. I know to some of you that probably sounds like a luxury, but even just starting with 5 minutes is important. I did not take an hour when my kids were little, but the more you do it, the more you will truly cherish that time, and you're going to want to increase the time that you spend on your spiritual growth. It is key to our life. But next, I want to talk about your physical well-being. So that means exercise and nutrition. So exercise. How in the world do you fit it in when you have all these littles around you? You can't leave the house without them, right? They can't stay home on their own. I remember it all too well. Well, first of all, I would encourage you to invest in a good quality stroller. If you don't have the cash on hand, just find a secondhand one. I just can't say enough what those strollers did. My kids were close in age, so I have my first two are 17 months apart. So basically, that's like having two babies. So I got a double stroller right away when the second one was born so that I could put them in the stroller and go out for a walk. The fresh air is good for the kids too. But once they got older and then I had my number 3 and 4, they were also 17 months apart. I had the boys, the older ones, on their bikes and the girls were in a stroller. So just figure out the logistics of that, finding that stroller. That helps so much. And just take them with you to get some exercise. Moving your body is great for so many reasons, and it helps release anxiety. It helps you sort through your thoughts and just physically gives you energy as you walk. I recommend having a rain jacket if you're in a rainy climate like I am. I did not want the rain to stop me, so I invested in good rain jackets for everyone or umbrellas, whatever floats your boat. I find that even when it looks like it's raining really hard, if I just put my rain jacket on and go outside anyway, it's actually quite refreshing. But invest in a good rain jacket. And then if you're in a hot climate or the summer here in the Northwest can get hot, go early or get the right clothes, put the sunscreen on, have a mister, whatever it takes, just prep ahead so that you don't have an excuse at the last minute. Also, another time during the day to get in your exercise is if you have kids that have piano or ballet lessons or sports practice or whatever, work out or go for a walk while they are in their class or at their practice. So I remember clearly I had a double stroller and my oldest was taking a music class at the time. And without fail, when he was in his music class, it was just like 45 minutes. The other two got in the stroller and I went for a walk during that time. I always knew that was that time. It was only once a week, but that was when one of my walks was going to happen. Also, Annabelle, my third child, my first girl, I remember clearly when she was in soccer. During her soccer practice, I had this core workout that I would go through, and her practice was at a field, so I just went off to the side by myself, and I had these exercises that I worked through, crunches, planks, push-ups, and I just worked through that during her soccer practice. So The kids were moving, they were doing their thing. I was doing my thing as well. So find those spots. Maybe you can go. There were seasons when my husband would come home from work and I would go for my walk at that time because I just really needed a walk by myself. So there's just ways to do it depending on what season you are in. Look at your schedule. It will be well worth your time to put that exercise on your schedule. Not only is exercise important for your physical health, but so is nutrition. So consider doing meal prep. Listen to episode 6 where I gave some ideas for how to meal prep, but decide on the way you want to eat and make a plan for it. Get the groceries that you need. Keep it simple. Involve your kiddos depending on their age. Have them help and have easy, healthy snacks on hand all of the time. Water is so important. Hydration, I just can't say enough about it. The last few months, I have been very consistent about my hydration and I feel better. So come up with some sort of system to keep you honest about how much water you're taking. They say that the best amount of water is half of your body weight in ounces every day. Okay, that's a lot of water and it feels like a lot at first, but once you get used to it, your bladder adjusts and it gets used to it. And you can do it. At first, it's going to feel like a lot, but I have a special cup that I use. I fill it up in the morning and I get that in by midday, around 12 or 2, about lunchtime. Once I get that in, I fill it up again and I try to finish it at least an hour before bed because, that'll get me up at night if I'm drinking water up until the time that I go to bed. So first half of the day, make sure you get that in, refill your cup, and then keep on drinking. Hydration is so important. I also find protein to be very important. Keep track of how much protein you have. It will help your physical body. It will help give you more sustained energy and your hunger pangs won't be quite as bad. So make sure you take care of that physical exercise and nutrition. The third area I want to talk about when it comes to mama care is your emotional health. Okay, so emotional health is so important, just like spiritual health and physical health. So what am I talking about emotional health? Well, I want you to find some good personal development books. So things like I'm personally reading Untangle Your Emotions by Jenny Allen right now. Phenomenal personal development book. She also has a book called Get Out of Your Head. Another one of my favorite books is Mind Your Mindset by Michael and Megan Hyatt. And then the one cute book that I suggested at the beginning of this podcast was Humpty, Dumpty Just Needed a Nap. I will put links in the show notes to all of these books, but these are just some examples of some good personal development books. In addition to my Bible study, I'm always reading some sort of personal development book or listening to podcasts. So since you're listening to this podcast, I have a feeling you are a podcast listener, as am I. I love my podcasts. I have several that I listen to. Find some podcasts that is the right length, that encourage you to become a better person. So if you have babies at home right now, I want you to I'm hoping that they take naps or at least have quiet time. When the baby is napping or having quiet time, I want to encourage you to take time for quiet as well. Get a book, have some quiet time or take a nap yourself. And if you don't have babies, if your children are older, I encourage you to still plan a quiet time for everybody every day. That might just look like sustained quiet reading time. I say at least 30 minutes every day. That will give everybody a reset, some much needed quiet and rest. I also encourage you to journal sometimes during this time. It's amazing when your brain gets so full of thoughts and anxieties and concerns and ideas. If you sit down and journal, you can sort through a lot of those thoughts. And then another thing I want for your emotional health, phone a friend. Have a trusted friend that you can call when you need some help or some encouragement, don't hesitate. Find those friends to help you through. So, some practical ideas for your mama care. You need to fit it in. It is possible. It's not a luxury. It is a necessity. You can't pour from an empty cup. Work to instill one of these ideas this week and add more as you go. The cost to benefit will be well worth it. If any of this resonates with you, you have further questions, or you want to find out about the work I do at Hope Learning Center, book a virtual coffee chat with me. The link to my calendar is in the show notes. You can also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, as well as right here, where a brand new episode will drop every other Thursday. Until next time, you've got this, Mom.